And just before we go, let's do a recap of some of the top trending stories from the courtrooms.
We begin with the reports that the Supreme Court on Thursday fixed May the 25th to hear an application filed before it by the national chairman of the PDP, Senator Ali Modu Sheriff, against the appeal filed by the Senator Ahmed Makarfi-led faction of the party. The Makarfi National Caretaker Committee of the party had on March 16 approached the Supreme Court asking it to overturn the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, Rivers State on February the 27th, which declared Senator Ali Modu Sheriff as the legitimate national chairman of the party. But Sheriff filed his application 5 days later, arguing that Makarfi had no legal grounds for his appeal. At Thursday's hearing, Sheriff's counsel asked the Supreme Court not to hear the appeal because it was not properly filed. He argued that this was because the PDP, as led by Sheriff, did not give anyone the permission to file a suit on its behalf, and as such, the suit filed by Makarfi was null and void. On his part, counsel to Makarfi urged the court to disregard the argument because the issues raised by Sheriff's counsel were already in the substantive suit before the court, and since issues had been joined, there was no need to listen to anybody who was not a part of the suit. At the Code of Conduct Tribunal, the prosecution has closed its case in the trial of the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Dr. Saraki is facing an 18-count charge of false asset declaration. His trial continued on Thursday after 3 consecutive adjournments at the instance of the prosecution. The prosecuting counsel, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Rotimi Jacobs, informed the court about his client's decision to close its case after the last witness, Bayo Dauda, was cross-examined by the defense counsel, Paul Irokoro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. The prosecution presented 4 witnesses in all. The defense counsel has informed the court of his client's decision to make a no-case submission. The tribunal has adjourned till June 8th for adoption of written addresses. In another development, a magistrate court sitting in Dutse area of Abuja has granted a former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido bail on self-recognizance after ruling that the offense for which he was arraigned is bailable. The prosecution had argued against Mr. Lamido being granted bail, saying he could jeopardize peace in the state, while the former governor's counsel argued that he remained innocent until proven guilty. The former governor, Sule Lamido, was arraigned before the court on a 4-count charge of allegedly inciting his supporters to violence during the forthcoming council polls in Jigawa State on July 1. In Borno State, a high court sitting in Maiduguri on Thursday sentenced 2 men to 2 years in prison for stealing rice donated by foreign donors to internally displaced persons. The 2 convicts are Umar Ibrahim, a supervisory councillor in Marfa local government area, and Ali Zangebe, a local politician from the same local government area. They were charged alongside Shetima Maina, a former council chairman of Marfa local government. But Mr. Maina, who was named as the first defendant, is said to be at large. The judge, Justice Fadau Umar, found the 2 other defendants guilty of the 3-count charges brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In addition to their jail terms, they were fined 2 million naira each. And we round off with the report that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Friday named Mrs. Folashade Oke as the owner of Flat 7B at 13 Osborne Road, Osborne Towers, Ikoyi, Lagos, where some huge sums of money were recently recovered by the Commission. Mrs. Oke is the wife of the suspended Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ayo Oke, whose agency had laid claim to the money. According to the EFCC, Mrs. Oke made a cash payment of $1.6 million for the purchase of a flat between August the 25th and September the 3rd, 2015. The Commission tendered the receipt issued for the purchase of the apartment as an exhibit before the Federal High Court in Lagos, where it is seeking an order of final forfeiture for the recovered money to the federal government. The Commission also says that the very act of making a cash payment of $1.6 million for the property without going through any financial institution is a criminal act punishable by the Money Laundering Prohibition Amendment Act. Justice Muslim Hassan has adjourned till June 6 to give judgment for the final forfeiture of the funds.
That's the program for today. Please share your views with us on any of the issues we've discussed on the program. If you missed any part of it, you can find it in past episodes on our YouTube channel. I'm Shola Shayeli. Thank you for watching.